It's been just under 5 months since Penny Schwinn stepped into the top role at the Tennessee Department of Education as the state's youngest appointed commissioner.
I'm really energized. The best part has been getting into classrooms. I think wherever you are in the country and certainly in the state, the easiest and best way to get to know a community is by talking to kids.
In that short time, she's visited more than 200 classrooms and met thousands of Tennessee students from across the state.
When I think about my job here, it is really about empowering our educators to do what is absolutely best and needed for all of our kids.
The Sacramento, California native began her career in education through Teach for America in Baltimore. Since then, she's taught or worked with elementary, middle, and high school students as an educator, principal, school board member, and worked as a top state administrator in Delaware and Texas. Most recently, she served as Chief Deputy Commissioner of Academics for Texas schools. Now in the volunteer state, Schwinn is working to gain feedback from educators in every corner of Tennessee about the goals and challenges that face public education.
We had 25,539 teachers provide feedback on the initial plan. We had over 50 focus groups, every superintendent provide feedback, and then a bunch of external stakeholder groups, and figuring out what those big buckets should be. And I think part of that has been taking a step back and really asking the question, what do we want our public schools to achieve at the end? Like, what is the big goal? Certainly there's ACT, there's our TN Ready tests, and there's lots of indicators along the way. But at the end of the day, it's about making sure our students graduate with a diploma that means something and can do whatever it is that they want to do in their lives, and that we've given them such a strong foundation and education that they feel empowered to do that and that they are engaged as citizens in Tennessee.
Through all of the feedback, however, one challenge rose above the rest.
Without question, mental health. I think that came through whether I'm talking with teachers or with students, with families, with superintendents. It is the idea that our children, they're coming to us with more assets than ever before, but they're also coming to us with more challenges. And there was a little girl in Robertson County, not a little girl, she's in middle school, but a girl in Robertson County, and she said, what matters to me is that I have a best friend that I can eat lunch with, an adult I can go to when I have a problem. And how easy, but also how hard, because we look around cafeterias and we see so many kids eating lunch by themselves. We see students who are coming to us with issues of addiction in their communities, with self-harm behaviors, cutting. We have more suicides than ever before. We have more bullying than ever before. And I think we have to think very critically about what that does to our kids and how do we proactively support them.
One of Schwinn's main goals remains to help students develop from children to adults.
I mean, if we think about it, we have our students for 13 plus years, 9 months a year, over 7 hours a day. Half of their waking hours are with us for the entirety of their childhood, and that is a massive responsibility. So we're developing them certainly academically, but we're also developing them as people.
Schwinn was appointed by Governor Bill Lee to head work on his administration's agenda for public education, which includes what many consider a controversial new policy of school vouchers.
So I support the governor, and at the end of the day, what it comes down to, and I've gotten kind of various forms of questions around specific policy initiatives, and I say what I want to think about is if I'm talking with a student or with a family member, and they're looking me in the eye and saying, I want what's best for my child, how do I get there? My job as commissioner is to always have an answer for them. And so that's going to look different for different people living across the state. Lake County, that's going to be a different answer than someone in Kingsport, than someone in Metro. But my vision, and the vision that I've been very excited to share with this governor, and why I moved to Tennessee, is because I believe that it is our responsibility as the Department of Education to be able to answer every family that they have an option to provide their child with an excellent education, teachers who care about them, and schools who will set them up to be excellent in whatever they want to do after they graduate.
As a daughter of a single mother, an educator, a wife of an educator, and a mother of 2 young girls enrolled in Nashville public schools, Schwinn is investing in public education and working to back its educators and students.
And I just hope that everyone in our public education system remembers that we're going to have bad days, we're going to have amazing days, but every day is a day with kids, and that is the greatest privilege that any of us can have, and it's something I take very seriously and I value very much, and that is a direct result of having a parent who showed me how to be the best possible version of myself for our kids.
For Kids Central TN and the Tennessee Commission on Children and Youth, I'm Jonquil Newland.